Vikings at Raiders. Oh, it's a late game. That's why it's there.
It's a
That's
late
why.
game.
Oh,
It's our first of the 1 p.m. games. Oakland is favored by 3 points with an over-under of 44.5. Teddy Bridgewater will probably play. That's my guess.
Returned to practice yesterday, past the concussion protocols.
He'll be just fine. Well, these concussions are just terrible. Every one you take makes you more of a vegetable when you're 50
Huh?
years old.
What?
Exactly. Have you had a few?
Huh? You what? Oh,
So
I don't drink on
the
weekdays.
Oakland defense is giving up 4.1 yards per carry, 96.9 yards on the ground per game. I don't think that matters at all for Adrian Peterson. You load him up every week.
I smell a homer pick.
It, Adrian Peterson's, it's hard not to make that pick. I'll say that right now. Oakland defense,
He did have
Oakland secondary is giving up an 89.1 passer rating to opposing quarterbacks, 315 yards through the air. Teddy Bridgewater is a game manager, though. I think his best week is going to be where he throws for 220 yards but 3 touchdown passes.
But
Or
your best hope is that those 220 yards, 215 of them go to Stephon Diggs.
we can hope.
So the question is, like, do you play Diggs?
Yes, I'm not rushing out to roster him. I think
6,600 in FanDuel.
it's well that price has gone up.
Yep. And
So
5,100 in DraftKings. So that's right about what he was last week still.
I'm not rushing out to roster Diggs, but he's not a bad choice at all with the way he's been targeted and the way the Vikings have been using him.
But you are rushing out to roster AP.
Well, you can either roster AP or Gurley on FanDuel. AP is, let's
Or
see,
both, and then run Brian Walters and
yeah, and Jamison Crowder.
Devin Funchess and Jamison Crowder.
You could do that. If I had to pick between Gurley and Peterson, I'm going to pick Gurley. But I think, and I know I just said this when we were talking about the game, that Gurley's price is going to keep people off of him. But I think if forced to make the decision between the two, most people will pick Gurley over Peterson.
More exciting, more fun.
Yeah, better matchup, slightly. But that said, Adrian Peterson is, I mean, they're 1A and 1B when it comes to projected work. Like, it doesn't matter who the matchup is. Adrian Peterson is going to get the work, and he can go off any week. I have Peterson in a lineup. I won't say if it's against you, but I will. I am using Peterson this week.
You're not going to switch Peterson out?
Well, who knows? We have some time before we announce our lineups.
Okay, well, if you do, I think you should consider switching him.
Oh, okay. Well, now, so for the Vikings,
That
Peterson
was
would
that
be
was
my.
just an abuse pun. That's all I wanted to work in there.
I didn't get it.
James, your
It
comedy
went
game
right-
is off
It
tonight.
went right off my
Mine's
head.
on. Yours is off.
So I have.
Hit mute on the comedy button.
I don't know about the Vikings defense. What do you think about the Vikings defense? Would you use them? They've been playing well, but they haven't been scoring fantasy points.
I wouldn't use the Raiders. I mean, 35 points against the Steelers. Not a lot of undisciplined play. Never thought I'd say this against the Raiders. And what I saw last week was the Raiders' offensive and defensive lines playing disciplined. When have you? I mean, I'm 31 years old. I've never said that in my life.
Yeah.
The Raiders playing disciplined. So I would not be afraid of the Vikings defense if I am the Raiders. I know Cooper's questionable a little bit, some hamstring stuff, I think. So it's tough. Crabtree's price has gone up a bit because of his performance, but David Carr clearly likes him. If you're in a tournament league, one of those guys, Davis, and who's the other one that are there like 3 and 4? I think those are potentially good options for a $3,000, $3,500 tournament play, or in that Gurley Peterson FanDuel lineup. And Latavius Murray is priced, below Ingram, below Yeldon, I believe.
What was his injury?
5,700
concussion.
FanDuel.
So he's dealing with
For
a
DraftKings.
concussion as well. We're not
Yeah,
sure. It says his blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
6,700 in FanDuel. So any of those guys are good good plays. None of them jump out from the value. That's another one where you might want to go with Derek Carr because you don't know who he's going to target. 7,500 in FanDuel. Um, but I could see him having another, 4 touchdown game or at least a 3 touchdown game just because he's getting the time in the pocket and
Mm-hmm.
having the time to not make stupid rush throws. And so that's why it's hard to pick a target on our behalf because a quarterback is getting rush throws. They're looking at their check downs, so we can count on them. A quarterback's getting a lot of time. You can look at their number ones. Here, his number one is banged up a bit. It's. I might like him the best.
Carr
Yeah,
probably
out of
would be my play too.
Raiders.
Minnesota's giving up an 87.7 passer rating to opposing quarterbacks, which is not terrible. 220 yards through the air. Carr would be my play too. I do like Crabtree against that Minnesota second corner. You don't know if they're going to bring out blanking on it. Terrence Newman. He's been okay, but he's a veteran, and Crabtree could easily make him look foolish.
Hmm.
So Crabtree would be my receiver of choice. I think the car play isn't that bad. I would take the under on what is it, 42 and a half or 44 and a half? It's 44 and a half.
44 and a half.
I'll
Yeah.
take the under. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm rooting for my Vikes, but Oakland -3 sounds about right. I think it'll be around there. So that's all I really have to say about that.